What you should do in social circle is don't treat it like cold approach. Treat it like social circle. Get to know everybody, right? Say hi and bye to every girl, whether she's hot or not hot. Doesn't matter, okay? Ugliest, fattest girl, you don't have to flirt with her, you don't have to fuck her. Just say hello and goodbye to her. Make her your friend. And true, like with every other girl as well. The hotter the better, but every girl. And guys as well. Just be super friendly, super social with everybody, and become involved. Become a guy who's like central to things, so that when people go to an event, you're actually part of the event, as opposed to that like lost little puppy dog wondering what to do at the event. So you're the person people are looking to for certainty. And then from there, just close and follow up, and then just go from that group setting to the one-on-one and be golden. But make it an asset rather than liability. Instead of being like, oh my God, if I do this weird, creepy thing, no one will like me within the social circle. Instead say, look, I have this social circle opportunity. Everybody's gonna like me because I can be valuable within that social circle. And it's just a little bit of effort. And at first it won't pay off. It'll take a little bit longer to pay off than cold approach. You have to be patient, you have to actually build it. But it will pay off much bigger in terms of like, if you can get a 7 on a cold approach, you can probably get a 10 out of a social circle. Just because you get to see them over and over again and you don't have to try hard to see them. The problem with cold approach.
You have to build comfort and all that stuff real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, the comfort's already kind of in because you're in the same circle, but also you have more time to see them, so you don't have to worry about it, right? And you don't have to worry about when the next time you're going to see them is. That's the biggest thing. The thing that makes cold approach difficult is that you have to keep continually getting the girl out on a date. You have to continually keep the girl there long enough to get to know you on the initial interaction. If that's going to happen anyway, it's super easy. You can just be a chill, laid-back guy and make them chase you. It's very hard to, excuse me. It's very hard to make a girl chase you when at the same time you're like, no, stay. No, don't go do whatever you're going to do anyway. I'm more important. But I'm laid back. I don't give a shit about you. You can't do that at the same time. But in a social circle, you actually can, because they're going to be there. They're going to stay around. So you actually can be that cool, laid-back guy. You actually can do social proof. You can convey your value through showing them how you interact with other people instead of having to do it all directly with them. So you have huge advantages, right? But you do have to actually be ballsy enough to do it. Right? You have to be social within the social circle, and you also have to actually be willing to close in the social circle. You have to realize that it's not that big of a deal. Realize that if you're shady and sneaky about it and trying to close, and then you close, yeah, it'll come back on you. There'll be repercussions. If you're super outgoing and social and just are that social guy and are closing, there won't be social repercussions because the girls will view it as a victory to have been with you. Instead of like complaining about the weird, creepy guy that hits on them, they'll be bragging that they got you. That makes sense? And then it just snowballs, and then other girls are like, oh my God, he's so amazing, I want him too. And that's when like, I know when I went to school, both the schools I went to, there were not even one or two, there were probably like 10 guys in the school or something like that were just the guys that were known for sleeping with girls, right? And they slept with so fucking many girls. And then all the other guys were just like hoping and wondering when they were gonna get laid. I won't do that unless I absolutely have to. The only time I've done that recently, the only time that I've voluntarily given a girl my number recently, I didn't even give it to her, I gave it to her friend. Because what happened, it was a girl's 21st birthday party. She really, really liked me, and then she got like drunk sick and had to like leave. And then I found her friend later. I was like, here, just give this to your friend if she remembers me. I don't know if she will or not, but just give this to her and tell her to call me if she remembers me. And her friend actually did follow up. But that's the only time. And that's because it's a last resort. I wouldn't have preferred that, right?
Most of the time, what is it?
I don't give my number to girls. Though actually, if I give my number to girls, usually it's to blow them off. Like there was a time in Raleigh last weekend where this girl wanted to go home with me. I gave her my number just to blow her off, and just like to keep it like warm enough that if I didn't pull someone else, I could fall back on it. So I was like, hey, yeah, I have to stay with my friends for a minute. Just go run around the corner and do what you have to do. Text me in like 15 minutes. I'll come meet up with you and we can go like do whatever together. And she had already basically agreed to go home with me, and her friend had agreed to take me home with her, like her friend and roommate. She's like, it was completely done.
Friend then, like when friends start messing it up for you.
Friends don't mess it up for me. I mean, they do sometimes, but a lot of times the friends are actually on my side. A lot of times they're actually so on my side, because what I'll do is, once it's pretty on, I'll start including the friends, and I'll start like making the vibe collective, right? So I'll start talking to the friends about the girl, and be like, hey, I kind of like your friend, I hope you're okay with that, or do you approve of us? That sort of thing. Or I'm gonna have a crush on your friend, so I have to meet you, who are you? Right, and I actually genuinely get to know them. I'm also genuinely like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm super patient with girls, because I am getting with enough girls, and I'm getting with hot enough girls that I don't give a fuck. I actually do not care. I'm fine with going home with a girl and just sleeping there and not doing anything. I'm actually fine with that. Like, if I do go home with her, we will have sex. But if we didn't, in the back of my mind, I would be okay with that because I don't care. I call that a good night's sleep. That doesn't happen often enough, right? It's okay. It's okay to get a good night's sleep sometimes, okay?
How early or late do you announce your intentions to the friend?
What? Depends on how you mean my intentions.
Your friend's adorable,
Pretty early. That I tell them that I like her, that I'm interested in her.
Yeah.
I don't tell them I'm gonna fuck your friend. Like, I'm gonna fuck your friend, I'm bend her over. I don't do that. But yeah, I'll tell them as soon as it's on, as soon as it's pretty on. Yeah. I'll tell them. As soon as I think that if I say, do you approve of us, the friend will like look happy, I'll tell the friend.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Or, I mean, the girl that I'm talking to will look happy to the friend.
Yeah.
Then yeah, why not? Because the friends are more of an obstacle than the girl herself. Alex has a rule. He says the girl is the group and the group is the girl. And I think that's very appropriate. All right, so as soon as a girl likes you, you don't have to worry about the girl anymore. Start worrying about the friends. Why bother? And by worrying about the friends, you're going to get the girl more into you anyway. Right? Deal with your logistics. Actually, even basically from the moment that the girl is asking me questions, asking me to participate in the conversation, not rejecting me, I'm figuring out logistics. I'm figuring out where we're going to go next, what we're going to do next. The girl that I ended up actually pulling in Raleigh after I sent that other girl away, who was fucking hot. Hottest girl, tallest girl that I've ever slept with. Amazing body, super cute. Her first words to me were, "You're too short, that's a disqualifier for me," which was funny. But I got her all the way home, all the way back to her place, without her ever giving me a single compliment, without her ever indicating that she liked me in any way, without anything more than just the absolute bare minimum of physical contact. And then she just like walked me up the stairs to her room. I used the restroom, I came out, she changed into PJs, and she jumped in bed. And then I was standing there thinking, should I jump in bed or not? I hit her on the ass twice. I said, "Hey, scoot over." She said, "No." I said, "What?" She said, "You're on the other side. This is my side." And then I just jumped in and we started cuddling. But like there was very, very little there. All it was that she didn't say no. There was no indicators of interest. There was no like positive vibe. All it was when I tried to make her comply, when I tried to make logistics work, she didn't say no. She didn't resist logistics. That's it. Okay? So as soon as she's not rejecting me, as soon as it's even a normal conversation, I'm just starting to move her around. I'm starting to take her, be like, "Hey, let's go grab food. Let's get my friends over here. Just come like 5 feet over. Just come here." I start pulling her from one place to the next, start taking her, like, "It's cold inside. Let's just jump inside here for a second." Right? And she just keeps saying yes to those little leads, so then I just keep leading other things. Legitimately, she showed no interest in me as anything other than like, she just tolerated my presence for her ride home up until we got home. That's it. Sometimes I'll give you a better version of that. We just tell them to leave. Instead of telling them to tell you to fuck off, tell them it's okay if they leave. Be like, "You know what?
I'm gonna steal that.
No, don't do that, because that's like fuck off still. Say, "You know what? You can if you want to go talk to your friends, it's totally okay. I understand. You don't have to stay here if you don't want to." Right? And then they have to be like, "No, I want to." Or they have to be like, "Okay," and change the subject. But they're acknowledging to their logical mind that they're making that commitment, right? They're investing in you. That's the most important thing. It's not necessarily important that they give you an IOI or that they giggle or even that they make out with you. It's important that they invest in you. It's important that they inconvenience themselves for you, right? Because that's what really it is. If you're even making out with you, that's just fun for a girl, right? Or listening to you have a funny story and laughing at it, that's just her having fun. It's just fun for her, right? There's no commitment there, right? If she goes to a magic show and has a laugh, or goes to a comedy show and has a laugh, that's just her entertainment for the night. That's not her saying, "I'm gonna fuck this guy." That's not her saying, "This is an amazing guy." It's saying, "That was a good show." Okay, so what you want to do is get her out of that mode of this was a good show into this mode of that is a hot guy. And in order to do that, you need to have her investing and have her have to realize why she's investing. Right? So that's what I'm working for the whole time, is just getting her to invest. That's what gets you laid, is investments. Okay? IOIs are nice, they feel good. Kissing girls is fun. That's all great. But what gets you laid is investment. What gets you laid is the girl having a fear of losing you because she's put so much effort into you. Okay? So that's what I'm really focusing on. So I'll tell that.
Some more examples of investment? That's like definitely my weakest area, I think.
You mean like what does investment look like, or how to get them to invest, or what are you talking about?
Yeah. How to get them to invest.
Okay. Simplest way to get them to invest is just go silent in the interaction. So you're talking, just be silent for a second. And then If they don't jump in, you can continue talking. But instead of being ba 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 ba, be like ba 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 ba. Just by having that silence that they can fill. Now all of a sudden you're giving them the opportunity to invest. So on one level there's making them invest, which there are techniques for that. But the biggest thing is actually first and foremost give them the opportunity to invest. Let them invest. Don't be so much the show that they can't jump in and get a word in edgeways. Don't be so much the show that you put yourself in entertainer mode and they put themselves into spectator mode. So that's the first and foremost thing, is allow them to invest. Okay? Second thing, recognize once they start investing. If a girl asks you a question, she's investing. If a girl says, what's your name? She just invested. Now it's a small investment, but it's an investment. Right? If a girl says, where are you from? What do you do for a living? Any other thing, any question. What are you doing later? What are you doing later is possibly a big one, possibly just conversation, it depends. Any question is an investment. Okay, so once they start investing, allow them to keep investing. How do you allow them to keep investing off of a question? By not answering in a way that closes the door. What do you do for a living? I'm a doctor. Conversation over. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Or where are you from? Colorado. Conversation over. Unless they happen to really like Colorado or really want to pursue it, right? Where are you from? I'm from a really, really far away place. You probably haven't heard of it. Now they're going to ask another question. You see that? Right? Or what do you do for a living? All the questions you could ask me right now, and that's the one you chose, really? Really, that's what you want to know about me more than anything else? Right? Now you're teasing them, you're giving them a little bit of a hurdle to jump over, and you're also not giving them what they want. You're making them chase you some more. Make sense? So that's another form of investment, is once they start investing, because they are in some little way, almost just out of social obligation, going to invest a little bit. But when that happens, you can get them to invest. Another really obvious one is the typical, like, how old are you? How old do you think? Or where are you from? Where do you think? Right? Just make them guess one time. And don't do that on everything. Don't be the guy that makes them guess everything about you. But it's a good opportunity to make them invest just that little bit extra. Okay? Other ways to get them to invest, move them around in a way that's totally plausible. Say you open them in a high traffic area, I guess is the way to put it. There's all kinds of people bumping, jostling, etc. Once the conversation goes at all well, be like, hey, come over here for a second just so we don't get bumped around, and pull them over against the wall or pull them over to another part of the bar and get them to comply to that little bit of leading. Okay, so that's another one that you can do. I mentioned the investment of telling them that they're okay to leave. That obviously gets a pretty big reaction, or can get a pretty big level of investment pretty quickly. Give them shit tests. How often do girls give you guys shit tests? It should be pretty much every set. If it's not every set, that's a problem, okay? If you're not getting shit, there's an issue. How often do you give girls shit tests, though?
I think I'm not even at the second stage. I think like they give me enough shit. I just accept it as okay. Let's move on.
Shit tests are a good thing.
Because it's like I don't know how to handle it fast enough. If I come back 10 minutes later, it's not gonna work.
No, it's not.
So
How do you handle?
I'm really direct. You see me. I'm really direct. I don't get enough shit tests. I don't know.
Well, if you're direct and you're not getting shit tests, you should be getting laid. You know what I'm saying, right?
I get really
if you walk in and they don't say no or don't give you objections, then you just keep saying, you just keep leading.
Yeah.
Hey, I like you. Oh, I'm cool with that. Okay, cool. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
You should get a shit test then. You're either getting a shit test or you're getting laid.